How's it going, everybody? The Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy is a relic of its time, a timeless theatrical debut for the Spider-Man character. Everyone knows about the villain Spider-Man faces in the movies, the classic Raimi depictions of the Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Venom, Sandman, and New Goblin. But what about the villains you might not have known about in this universe? The ones lurking in the background, in cameos, or in plain sight, or who were supposed to appear in sequels. Today I'm going to talk about the hidden heroes and villains of the Raimi movies, so grab a snack and let's dive right in. You've heard of Green Goblin, but you might not have heard of Robot Master. That's the alter ego of Mendel Strum, the scientist who works for Dr. Osborn to develop the Green Goblin serum and armor. In the comics, after Norman betrays him, he turns to a life of villainy and uses an army of robots to seek revenge against Osborn and Spider-Man.
That was only one test. With the exception of Dr. Strom, our entire staff certifies the product ready for human testing.
Dr. Strom?
No, I was late for work and Dr. Connors fired me.
Dr. Connors is first mentioned in Spider-Man 1 as an employer of Peter who fires him, and then appears again as his college professor in Spider-Man 2. You probably remember in The Amazing Spider-Man he becomes the Lizard, but did you know he, along with Electro, were originally supposed to be the villains of Spider-Man 3? They would later appear together on screen, coming from the same universe in Spider-Man No Way Home. You probably noticed one of Sam Raimi's close friends, actor Bruce Campbell, having cameo in each of these movies, like he does in all of Sam Raimi's movies. But did you know in the canceled Spider-Man 4, he was supposed to return to play Quentin Beck, otherwise known as Mysterio? This was in a montage early in the film where Spider-Man was going to round up various minor villains from the comics.
It helps maintain the illusion.
John Jameson, son of J. Jonah Jameson, appears in Spider-Man 2 as the fiancé of Mary Jane Watson. But did you know in the comics he becomes the supervillain known as Man-Wolf? This was after finding a mysterious gemstone known as the Godstone on the moon. You may have heard of the canceled Spider-Man 4 planned for May 6, 2011. This would have featured John Malkovich as the Vulture, as well as Anne Hathaway as Felicia Hardy, otherwise known as the Black Cat in Marvel Comics. However, some sources say she was going to be the daughter of Adrian Toomes and be called the Vultress, who would turn against her father to help Spider-Man. Spider-Man, the new animated series, was a series released in July of 2003 that was meant to be a continuation of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and featured many villains from the comics, such as Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Silver Sable, the Lizard, and the Talon. But the most surprising entry was the Kingpin, being voiced and modeled after Michael Clark Duncan, who had previously portrayed the character in 2003's Daredevil. This is likely a fragment of scrapped plans for a shared universe between early 2000s Marvel movies, and is not the only example. I'm not sure it would fit in with the timeline that this appearance is suggesting, but there's another reference to Daredevil in the 2002 novelization of Spider-Man 1, naming Jack Murdock as the wrestler that Bonesaw would defeat before facing Spider-Man in the ring. Did you know Hugh Jackman was supposed to appear as Wolverine in a cameo in Spider-Man in 2002? An agreement was made and everyone was on board with it. However, there was an issue with the suit, and since they couldn't get the suit ready in time, it didn't happen. Similarly, there was a cameo planned for Spider-Man 2 in 2004, except this time it actually made it in some form. There were plans for Thomas Jane's Frank Castle from 2004's The Punisher to cameo in the film. Except because of contract issues, they had this stunt double appear instead. He can be seen looking at the camera when Mary Jane is in her wedding dress in the park. According to the DVD commentary, this is indeed intended to be Frank Castle. establishing the Punisher from the 2004 movie to exist in the same New York as Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Finally, when J. Jonah Jameson and Hoffman are attempting to come up with a supervillain name for Otto Octavius after he receives the octopus arms, Hoffman suggests calling him Doctor Strange, to which Jameson replies that it's pretty good, but it's already been taken. This is obviously a reference to the superhero Doctor Strange, who would later go on to appear in the MCU, but this also confirms that a version of Doctor Strange does exist within the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe.
Doctor Strange.
That's pretty good. But it's taken. Wait, I got it. Dr. Octopus.
Fun fact, when Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was being worked on, and Sam Raimi had been announced to direct, there was a fan theory that Doctor Strange would briefly visit the Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe in the movie, which would explain how Jameson knows the name. This, of course, didn't end up happening, but it was still a cool theory. In reality, these last 4 examples were likely references and cameos pushed for by Kevin Feige. As in the early 2000s, before the MCU debuted, there was an early attempt to create this kind of cinematic universe that would span across multiple studios and various franchises. This was confirmed by an alternate deleted post-credit scene in 2008's Iron Man, where before telling Tony about his plans for the Avengers, Nick Fury would reference the X-Men, Spider-Man, and the Hulk.
As if gamma accidents, radioactive bug bites, and assorted mutants weren't enough. I have to deal with a spoiled brat who doesn't play well with others and wants to keep all his toys to himself.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Would you have liked to see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man crossover with the other heroes of the early 2000s? Let me know in the comments and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'm Magnitude, and I hope you have a great day.